I'm already on record, so I'll just say it here again that as an industry as a whole, we are an industry of highly paid amateur programmers. I mean, there are definitely exceptions, but the general trend is for highly paid amateur developers. I want to point out there's what I thought was a fascinating paper written by a guy named G. Gordon Schulmeyer, and the title of the paper is "The Net Negative Producing Programmer," which introduces this idea that we always think that adding a developer to a team, while the developer may not add much productivity, they'll always add at least some productivity. And what G. Gordon Schulmeyer brings in is the idea is no, that there are these net negative programmers. Is that we have known since the early 60s, but have never come to grips with the implications that there are net negative producing programmers and NPPs on almost all projects who insert enough spoilage to exceed the value of their production. So it is important to make the bold statement: taking a poor performer off the team can often be more productive than adding a good one. The idea being there are people who are so bad at writing code that not only are they not helping the project move forward, they're dragging it backwards by just digging a deeper hole. Now, he goes on to say this negative production does not merely apply to extreme cases. In a team of 10, expect as many as 3 people to have defect rates high enough to make them NNPPs. With a normal distribution of skills, the probability that there's not even one NNPP out of 10 is virtually nil. And so this is very consistent with my own personal observation that the NNPP rate in the development community is about 20%. About 1 in 5 developers, being highly paid developers, are in fact net negative producing. They're causing more damage than they're contributing. And, you know, if the statistics hit you and you get 3 or 4 or 5 NNPPs in the same place, things are going to go to heck really quickly.
I think, you know, Steve brings up an important point. And one of the things we mistake over and over again is that the skill levels for any kind of skill area is evenly distributed, that most people are somewhere in the middle. There are some high end and some low ends, and it looks like a normal bell curve. And it doesn't. If you actually look at any kind of real survey of skill levels, is that the vast majority of people are on the low skill side, is that they suck. And then there's this long tail of goodness.
Wow, that gives me a lot of hope there.
Well, it's like everything, right? In golf, you play golf, Mark. You know that most people are not that good, and there's some people are just phenomenal. But there's a tail, and then there's a few people that are good. But most people are just like basketball, any kind of professional athletic sport, chess playing. They saw the same thing in chess players. I mean, any kind of real skill, you have this really high skew to the low end. And one of the things that we keep doing in our industry is we keep trying to create practices or enable practices that are well made for the people at the high end of the thing. When Agile first came out, it was designed by high-end people for high-end developers. And they've had to adapt that over the 20 years to try to make it work for the low-skill developers, because the vast majority are going to be low skill. But they'll look around them and see everyone else is roughly the same and go, I'm pretty good. That's the problem, right? We have a bunch of low-skill people hiring other low-skill people. And so one of the things you have to do here is create practices that surface that what Steve's talking about, those net negative performers. But you have to force them visibility, because what I hear in this story is that we not just tolerated, they didn't force the visibility. They didn't see that very clearly, that things were not working so they could take action. They just sort of tolerated because we need these people. Well, no, they're net negative performers. They're making you go slower than you could. And this is something Steve has heard, and we've heard with clients over and over again over the years, is that we show up and say, you know what? I could have done this project with like 1/10 of the people I had on it. I just didn't know the 1/10. Well, create practices to help you find that 1/10 and go for it, rather than just trying to shove more people on it.
Well, organizationally, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, there's a very definitely a lack of oversight of the technical people that are doing the work. I don't get any sense that there was any code review I don't get any sense that there was any kind of static analysis. I don't get any sense that there was any sort of coding standard that's set sort of a minimum level of quality. And so to me, my coding standard, I have a personal coding standard that I use, and I'm perfectly willing to share it with everybody. But the point here is that I view the coding standard as a means of protecting myself from those NNPPs. If you can't write code that complies with this fairly basic coding standard, then I don't want you anywhere near my project. I mean, 1,500 lines of